Ariel Helwani post-fight at UFC 149 alongside Bryan Caraway, who picked up a big win in his UFC bantamweight debut. And Bryan, I thought you performed really well tonight, although it seems like you're not very happy with the performance. Why?
I see myself as a technician. I made a lot of little mistakes out there. I was hanging my head too much. But I'm happy I got the win. You can't really complain too much when you win. I'm just hard on myself no matter what. And to his credit, he's a tough dude. He's really powerful. I thought he was going to gas a little bit sooner. But he was able to keep the pace pretty decent. But hey, I got the win, and you can't really ask for more.
Perhaps you started a little slowly. He hit you with some big shots early. How much did those hurt you?
Fortunately for me, I have a really, really good chin. So I really don't ever get hurt ever in a fight. Maybe I'll get hit and rocked and I don't even know I'm hurt, but I have a really good chin. I didn't really feel rocked or dizzy that much, but I did feel his power. And I'm a slow starter, and I'm trying to work my way around that a little bit. And I think even though this was my second fight in the UFC, I still had a little bit of jitters, a little bit being in a different country and whatnot. I had a lot of family here that drove up from Washington, and it's a lot of pressure. I have a lot of performance anxiety, put a lot of pressure on myself to win. And I think each fight that I go by the UFC, I'm just going to get better and better.
But on the flip side there, and that's always been sort of your Achilles heel, it seemed like you weathered that storm when maybe in the past you wouldn't have. Even though you had the jitters, it almost feel like you took a big step in your career in the mental and physical game here tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. This is the best I've ever felt, regardless of my performance, the best I've ever felt. I was super mentally confident all week. Normally I can't even eat the day of weigh-ins or the day of the fight barely at all. Last night, all my deal. Minute, I had 2 whole meals. Today I ate completely fine. I was laughing, joking. Didn't throw up one time. I felt mentally awesome. I had fun. This is the first fight I think I've fought in my last 30 fights that actually really good time, and I was enjoy being here and wasn't telling myself this is gonna be my last fight. So I enjoyed this.
By the way, I see your mouth is a little bloody and it looks like you have a chipped tooth. Is that from tonight?
Yeah, he caught me with a good little uppercut, and I've been wearing Invisalign braces, and I asked my dentist if I could step it up and go, every week put in a new one instead of supposed to go 2 or 3 weeks before you switch out. And I said, I'll endure the pain. I'll go every week and put it in. And he said, doing that's going to make my teeth a little weak because it's drastically shifting them so much, so they're a little loose, and kind of just bent one in a little bit, but no big deal. That's what doctors and dentists are for.
How was the weight cut?
It was actually phenomenal. I had a better weight cut going to 135 than I did at 145. 145, I would be a little lazy. I wouldn't have to eat clean for 3 or 4 weeks, and then kind of just, 3 or 4 weeks till a fight, I started eating clean. At 135, it forced me to, eat healthy all the time. Therefore, my body felt a lot better. I had more nutrition, and the weight cut was easier because my body can endure it instead of being kind of out of shape and then trying to gung-ho at the end.
Final thing, Joe Rogan was glowing about how you finished the fight, and particularly when you put your hand over his mouth. He took your hand off, and that's when you were able to sort of sneak in there and sink in the choke. Is that something that you've worked on? Is that sort of an old veteran's move?
Absolutely. I use that a ton in practice. I call it the old switcheroo. I do it all the time. I get everybody with that. Fighting is about just constantly beating your guy up or making temporary discomfort. And as annoying as it is, covering their mouth, covering their nose, covering their eyes, it makes people want to move. And instead, if they can't pull your hand off, then they move their head and lift up, and that's what I was waiting for. I set that up. I always cover with the top hand when they go to pull it out. I do the switcheroo with the left, and it worked out and paid dividends on this one.
Well, congrats on a fantastic performance, and we look forward to what's next for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I just want to say, that's like my 10th or 11th professional rear naked choke victory. I choke everybody with RNCs, and that's kind of my thing. I take people's backs, and they're in trouble if I'm on your back.
Well done, Mr. RNC. We'll call you that.
All right, and one more thing, I'd like to thank the Stand By Me program. It's a program that I dedicated this fight to helping youth anti-bullying. Really check it out. It's called StandByMeProgram.com. It's all about the youth and keeping them from getting bullied, and it's a really strong movement. So check that out.
Thank you, Bryan.
Thank you, Ariel, so much.